First at 5, neighbors having a tough time believing what Bexar County Sheriff's investigators say was happening all around them. They arrested a woman accused of running a human smuggling operation out of her East Side home. Katrina Weber shows us how investigators uncovered what most neighbors say got right past them.
It may not have gotten more than a second glance before, but after what happened at this home on Hayes Street near Walters Saturday night, neighbors say they'll never look at it the same again. Memories of Bexar County Sheriff's deputies lined up and down the East Side Street are also etched in their minds.
They came in guns blazing, and when they rolled in, they came in with their lights on.
They stopped over there and told somebody to come out. Don't try to go over the fence. They had people in the back there everywhere.
What both men witnessed were investigators closing in on what they say was a stash house, part of a human smuggling operation run by 26-year-old Diana Salazar. A report from BCSO says detectives watched Salazar recently pick up several suspected migrants from the Love's truck stop near I-35 and Fisher Road, then followed her home where she stashed the strangers inside. They arrested her and 27-year-old Cassandra Sayas on smuggling charges and 48-year-old Victorino Gonzalez Ramirez for evading arrest. Depending on who you ask, it's almost like Salazar had to be leading a double life here. While investigators say she was a smuggler, neighbors say she seemed like an ordinary wife and mother. In fact, here in the backyard, you can see evidence of children.
If she was doing it, she was very good at it, because she never stood out or whatever.
Dan Brooks, though, says he had an idea something wasn't right.
There's a lot of people over there. But in the daytime, you saw nobody.
Whether day or night, no one is in Salazar's home now. She's being held in jail. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
A love triangle led to a man killed in front of his West Bexar County home. The 29-year-old man, now dead, and a 21-year-old man is charged with his murder. Erica Hernandez joining us live outside the Bexar County Jail this evening. And Erica, we got this new information today on the case from the sheriff himself.
Yeah, that's right, Myra. According to Sheriff Javier Salazar, this was all over two men dating the same woman. Now, Sheriff Salazar says that around 7 o'clock yesterday, an altercation took place between Mason Rodriguez and 29-year-old Enrique Perales at Perales' home in a neighborhood south of Highway 90 near 211. Now, according to Salazar, Rodriguez shot Perales more than a dozen times. He then fled the scene, threw the gun in a nearby property, and then went to another home, but did later surrender to deputies, and he told them he shot Perales in self-defense. Salazar says there are other people who were with Rodriguez last night that were possibly involved.
Again, if we get indicators that there's people that are holding back information and purposely withholding information, then we may start seeing other charges in association with the case.
Now, Rodriguez was previously arrested in 2023 for unlawful carrying of a weapon, which was dismissed early this year. He is now here at the Bexar County Jail facing that first-degree felony charge of murder, and he is being held on a $250,000 bond. Live downtown, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Erica, thank you. New at 5, Bexar County Commissioners unanimously approving the county's budget for the next fiscal year. The property tax rate will stay the same, but there are some changes. Now, the total countywide budget is about $2.8 billion. That amount is roughly the same as last year. But this time around, the budget also includes $21 million for a new flood warning system. It also calls for dozens of new law enforcement officers for the sheriff's office and constables. County leaders also signing off on a 3% cost of living adjustment for county employees. Still, county leaders say that they need to look at ways to curb spending.
We will have more expenses than revenues coming in, and that fund balance will be depleted if we don't make significant changes as a court.
This court is committed to manage our debt load and try to not issue new debt. So this requires us to look through the lens of the reallocation of funds for existing projects on the books, and we will have that robust discussion throughout this coming budget year.
In the midst of federal cuts to nonprofits, the county has set aside $1 million for several initiatives, which include addressing things like food insecurity and health care access. So a land that looks like the moon That is how Kerrville leaders describe now parts of the riverbed near the Guadalupe 2 months after the deadly hill country floods. Let's take a look here, a live look at Kerrville City Hall. There are 2 meetings happening here tonight. The first was a flood update that started just about an hour ago, and the next is a city council meeting, which is set to start at 6 o'clock. Here are the biggest updates we have learned from Kerrville leaders so far. 955,000 cubic yards of debris have been cleared to date. 95% of that material is from private property and landowners. Arborists have now gone through parts of Kerrville and marked trees that can be saved. Despite the progress, city leaders say that there is still a lot of work that has yet to be done as far as cleanup goes. Now tonight at 6, we'll show you budget changes the city could adopt to help with the recovery. Let's take a look at traffic out there during this 5 o'clock commute. We're going to go to the TransGuide camera here. A couple different views that we're just looking at as we take a kind of a tour around town. No major tie-ups to tell you about that we can see from these views, but traffic moving along just fine out there. You'll notice one of the big things is all that brown grass, that kind of mustardy yellow there, Sarah, along the sides.
Although I must be one of the lucky ones because recently my grass is looking pretty good from the rain we got on Sunday. So we'll have to look ahead to that. I'm also noticing a lot of blue skies out there. Everybody talking about this morning. Wasn't it beautiful? 65 was the morning low. So far we've gotten up to 89, but we might be able to see temperatures rise a degree or 2 here before the end of the day. All in all, though, a very, very nice September day for us here in San Antonio. It was 92 in Schertz, 95 in Santa Maria, 100 in Eagle Pass, 89 in Roland's backyard in Leon Springs. That's after a morning low of 59, 88 in Bulverde and 88 in Seguin. So quick warm up because of the dry air in place. That dry air and high pressure system, one of the reasons why tomorrow is an ozone action day. What does that mean? Well, for most folks, there shouldn't be that much of an issue. But if you do have respiratory illness, I would urge you to use caution in the afternoon tomorrow because that's when elevated ozone levels could be possible. Not guaranteed, but possible. All right, we've got one more cool-ish morning to enjoy. I'll show you neighborhood morning lows tomorrow coming up in just a bit. Myra.
All right, Sarah, thank you. San Antonio Tejano artist Ram Herrera has revealed that he has stage 4 prostate cancer. The Grammy-nominated artist shared that news in a Facebook video. Herrera described his diagnosis as, quote, scary but treatable. He went on to say that he will not need chemotherapy but will be undergoing radiation. Herrera urged men over the age of 40 to get screened, and he thanked fans for all of their support. San Antonio ISD is a step closer to figuring out what to do with the more than a dozen schools the district closed nearly 2 years ago now. This week, SAISD opened up bids to lease its vacant buildings. The district is soliciting proposals from people or organizations who want to lease the buildings or the property around them. It could be for residential rentals, commercial, and land leases. In 2023, SAISD announced the closure of 15 campuses because of low enrollment. The district launched community surveys and property studies to see what type of use is best for those vacant buildings. We have the link to that on KSAT.com. The proposals have a series of questions plus requirements, things like a financial plan, security plan, and a project timeline. Bids close on October 17th. During a recent sentencing hearing, a judge in Kerr County openly questioned why James Hunter Schmidt had been given so much latitude in previous criminal cases. Turns out Schmidt is a founding member and the former president of the Kerr County Sheriff's Foundation, the agency's fundraising arm. His convictions in Kerr County include multiple DWIs, felony and misdemeanor family violence, and attempted injury of the elderly.
What do you have to say to all your victims? The 2 women. Do you find it ironic that you would be behind a sheriff's office foundation and have so many run-ins with the law here in Kerr County?
Tonight on the Night Beat, Sheriff Larry Letha responds as Schmidt's full criminal history comes to light. Just a few months until 2026, and Girl Scouts already planning to start the new year strong. Today they revealed a new cookie flavor. Details on what that could taste like and the fun name after the break. Plus, the Supreme Court ruling in favor of the Trump administration when it comes to immigration raids. Coming up, details on what restrictions ICE agents operating were lifted. Coming up tonight on the news at 6, it is that time of year when hand, foot, and mouth disease starts to spread, especially among school-age children. What one mom in Northeast ISD is worried about, and the district's policies on kids staying home from school. Plus, San Antonio has tens of thousands of classes through its Parks and Recreation Department every year, but nearly 1 in 3 have no one show up. What could get the axe in this year's budget crunch? A major win for the Trump administration in the nation's highest court. The Supreme Court lifting restrictions on ICE agents operating in California. They're now allowed to resume aggressive enforcement tactics that critics believe rely too much on a person's race, whether they speak Spanish, and the type of work that they do. The mayor of Los Angeles slamming that decision.
I want the entire nation to hear me when I say this isn't just an attack on the people of Los Angeles. This is an attack on every person in this city and in every city in our country.
2 lower courts deemed the tactics unconstitutional. Those courts ruled that the methods violated the 4th Amendment, providing protection against unlawful search and seizure. In Chicago, ICE now has launched an expanded operation called Midway Blitz. Have you ever heard of Canstruction? Not construction, but Canstruction. It's an effort between architecture firms and college students to help thousands of Bexar County families get food. Take a look at what we're talking about here. They create giant sculptures using canned goods. It's an annual event put on by the San Antonio Food Bank during Hunger Action Month, and it's all about balance.
They build the Canstruction. They can't use a lot of tape, for instance, right? I mean, they really have to use natural weight, and the labels stay intact so that when that food is later given to the food bank and a family gets it at home, they have the nutritional value.
The yearly event has donated more than 600,000 pounds of food. All 8 canned creations are now on display at North Star Mall. They'll be there through the end of the month, and you can vote for your favorite by scanning the QR code on the sculptures. The winner will be displayed in the lobby of the San Antonio Food Bank. All right, Girl Scout cookie lovers, this one's for you. There is a new flavor out this year or next, the Explore Mores. It is a new chocolate cookie with a creamy filling and notes of chocolate, marshmallow, and toasted almond flavored cream. Like the Girl Scouts' other cookies, they'll be sold online and in person by local troops. Sales start in January.
I guess like a twist on s'mores.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice. I know. You know what was also wonderful today? Just being outside. I don't know what this in-between season is, but I'll take it.
I call it false fall, Myra.
It is.
Because it does get hot eventually.
Yeah.
But hey, I gotta give a shout out to my alma mater, Clark High School. Today I woke up and was on Instagram, and they actually featured me in their library today, which was like such an honor. So thank you so much. I think Miss Podmore and Mrs. Harris are the librarians there. So yeah, they included a book called Isaac's Storm, which Justin Horn was talking about a little bit earlier, but it's the 125th anniversary of the Galveston hurricane, that devastating hurricane. Yeah. And that book, Isaac's Storm, is all about the forecasting and the forecasting mishaps that went into making that storm so devastating. So that's one of their suggestions. You should read it at home. It's really interesting. But this was just such a pleasant surprise, Myra, to wake up to.
High school Sarah.
Yeah, I think you can see the high school Sarah picture there in the bottom left corner of your screen, or you can just go to Clark, Texas Libraries or my Instagram and you can see it there. Yeah, maybe that was when the long straight hair was really in, Myra.
Oh yeah, you had to flat iron it.
Yes, you're a local graduate too, right?
I remember Reagan
Rattlers, Clark Cougars. Yes. That's also, by the way, if you're new to San Antonio, that's a very San Antonio thing, asking people what high school they went to.
What high school did you go to?
It's very, very
Absolutely.
San Antonio. Okay, so this morning we got down to 65 degrees in San Antonio. That's the coolest we've been in since May, but I was curious. What about the rest of the nation? This might surprise you. We were actually cooler than Salt Lake City this morning. We were just about as cool as San Francisco and Minneapolis, Minnesota. So yeah, it was real deal cool weather out there early this morning. And particularly if you live a little bit on the north side of town too, you also got to see morning lows in the upper 50s, which is pretty nice. But since then, we've been able to warm up. We got up to 89 so far today. So that is a pretty impressive warm up by nearly about 25 degrees. So an impressive warm up there. Why were we able to warm up so quickly? It's because we have dry air in place. Take a look at dew points right now. Dew points in the 50s. That's pretty dry. The way I like to kind of put my science hat on and explain it is think about the desert. The desert is dry. It gets chilly in the evenings and early mornings, and it gets hot in the afternoon. Dry air heats up and cools down very easily. So that explains why we were able to get cool in the morning, warm in the afternoon, and guess what? We'll be cool again tomorrow morning, just a little bit warmer than we were this morning. So you'll wake up in San Antonio at 68 degrees, 62 in Bernie, 66 in Sabinal. Tomorrow it'll be 63 in Bulverde, 66 in New Braunfels and Seguin, and 67 in Pleasanton and in Floresville. Then we'll be looking at nothing but sunny skies tomorrow. A quick warm up for us. By noon it'll be 86. In the afternoon tomorrow, 94 for the high. So a couple degrees warmer in the morning and a couple degrees warmer in the afternoon. 94 for the high in San Antonio. Now looking ahead, We do have a high pressure system that's going to kind of be moving over, and high means dry. So we are really going to be limiting the amount of rain we see in our forecast over the next several days. And you can see that here in the futurecast. All of the rain going up and over not only San Antonio, but pretty much Texas. So we're in for a bit of a dry stretch for us over the next several days. You can see that high temperatures will climb too. We'll be in the mid to potentially upper 90s in the coming days as well. The good news is that afternoon humidity is going to be relatively low. Now, I don't see any triple digits in that forecast. Could we have possibly had our last 100-degree day of 2025? Myra's crossing her fingers, and I am too, because the latest triple-digit day we've ever seen on record for San Antonio is September 28th. And these records date back to 1885. Back in 2005, we hit 100 degrees on September 28th. That's the latest we've hit 100. And the closer we get to that date, the less and less likely it is to see 100 degrees. And I really do not see that in our forecast. And again, even the afternoon humidity will be relatively low. So even our heat index may not be close to the triple digits as well. Hey, so coming up at 6 o'clock, I am going to zoom into neighborhoods and take a look at how cool you could be tomorrow morning. So I hope you stick around for that.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. All right, Mary joining us now to talk sports. And Mary, we have an all San Antonio matchup to talk about in college football.
Yes, we do. Incarnate Word gearing up for the second all-time meeting this Saturday against UTSA. It'll be UTSA versus UIW. We'll check in with the Cardinals at their practice this morning right after the break.
think there's a lot on the line. I mean, everybody says, FBS, FCS, it's a lose-lose situation, but, we're looking at it. We're very excited, San Antonio matchup, and we're ready to go send a message to the rest of the country.
UIW is back for more, looking to make a statement against UTSA in big board sports. All right, the last time Incarnate Word and UTSA met was back in 2019 when Frank Harris threw 3 touchdown passes en route to a 35-7 Roadrunners triumph in the inaugural hometown showdown. Now entering the second meeting between the two programs this Saturday, the Cardinals are ranked top 10 in the FCS. And while UTSA is a perfect 9-0 against FCS competition since transitioning to the FBS, UIW is up for the challenge, and they took full advantage of their early bye week.
In the summer, we were looking at it, we were like, early bye week. Wish we could have got it later, but actually, we needed the rest, needed to regroup. And I think it gives us a head start on the game plan for UTSA, so I think we're ahead right now when it comes to the game plan. And I think it benefited us a lot.
The bye week was really good for us. We had some injuries offensively and defensively, so we were able to get some guys more healthy and then just also get some extra game planning. We've dived into the film already. We've watched the past 3 years actually, and so just kind of going in there and watching all the film. UTSA is a good opponent, and so we have a ton of respect for those guys.
Well, it'll be crucial for UIW to stop the run. That's where UTSA has excelled through the first 2 games. Home to the leading rusher in the FBS, Robert Henry Jr. Head coach King Killo has nothing but respect for his crosstown foe.
They're a good football team. Jeff Traylor has done a tremendous job in building a perennial powerhouse at the G5 level in San Antonio. Couldn't have more respect for him and his program. They got good athletes in all 3 phases. The quarterback's a special player with his arms, with his feet. The running back is an NFL back for sure. They got a ton of experience up front on the O-line. They got speed out on the perimeter. McEwen is a stud. And then defensively, they fly around and they play well. I think their linebackers are improved from the previous year from an athletic skill set standpoint. And then they can create pass rush with 3 and 4 down.
In sports at 6 o'clock today, we'll hear from UTSA as they prepare for the San Antonio battle. And here is the matchup. Kickoff is this Saturday at 2:30 inside of the Alamo Dome. San Antonio getting a lot of football action as of late.
Oh, yeah. We love to see it.
Yes.
Thanks, Mary. We're back right after this.
Patty Santos here out with the Texas Parks and Wildlife crew. That is a crew that is training right now on rescue operations. This is the same crew that was involved in rescue operations in Kerr County on July 4th. You're going to get to meet them tomorrow on GMSA.
All right, your nominations for the SA Picks 2025 contest are in. We ask you to choose San Antonio's top businesses, and you came through. So now you can scan the QR code here to see the finalists and put your votes in by September 20th. Plus, you can vote for each category once a day. We'll announce the winners later on this month. Sarah.
Top Reagan Rattler news anchor, Myra Arthur. Okay, 68 tomorrow morning. We'll be in the low 60s in the hill country. A hot day tomorrow afternoon at 94, but it's a dry heat, so we'll take it.
Right back at